Greetings and welcome to Small Business Power and Happy New Year!
Yay!
I can't believe it's already another year. Can you?
Oh, yes.
Holy
Just
moly.
rolling.
Well, and the good news for perhaps you is Santa Claus brought us a new webcam. We've been getting some complaints that some of our videos were showing up a little bit on the fuzzy side. So I'm hoping that this one's going to be better because it's definitely a high def camera and it definitely has some differences to it. So, anyway, welcome to Small Business Power. I am Cheyenne Kramer. This is my better half.
Don Kramer. Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year's. And yes, we got the better camera. She
That's
wanted to get a cheap one, but I said no.
He wouldn't let me know.
Nope.
But anyhow, today we want to talk to you about something that I think is a really important topic to address right here at the beginning of the new year. And that topic is the power of claiming your power. There is so much that can be said. I mean, we love working with entrepreneurs because, for the most part, entrepreneurs decided that they were going to claim their power to make their own income, and they really didn't need anybody's permission to go do it, did
That's
they?
right.
You didn't. You got up
Nope.
and decided to do it one
No,
day.
I decided to do it. I said, let's go.
That's it. That's it. But, when it comes to the new year and talking about the power to create change, the power to do things different, we all need to really stop and think and just understand that if you don't like how 2021 went down, there's probably some things that you can do to claim your power to change and to make things better and better. Now, we know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world that you and I have no control over. Isn't that right?
Just don't sweat stuff you had no control over.
That is probably the wisest words ever spoken right there.
Don't waste time.
Because if you have no control over it, why don't you just kind of change your focus and focus on what you do have control over? And, one of the really important concepts that I love to remind people of over time is, goal setting. How many of us made New Year's resolutions a few nights ago? Now, I'm going to be honest and say I didn't. Did you?
No.
No, but on New Year's Day, do you remember what we spent a little bit of time doing?
Oh, what was that?
We were writing down some goals and talking about some of the things we wanted to accomplish this year. So that's a great place to start. And you don't need any fancy tools to just get things out of your brain and start putting them on paper and understand that that is the first step to recognizing that you can create and claim the power of having a better 2022 than you did 2021, regardless of how good it was or wasn't.
So it was okay to do it on January 1st, not the day before.
You
Still the
can do
same.
it any day,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have to be at New Year's goal.
Well, and I've always had a little bit of a challenge with the traditional forms of goal setting
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
traditional goal setting basically says, you need to plan out all the steps to this goal, how you're going to get from point A to point B. But what if you don't know all the steps? Does that mean you should just not do anything?
You should start, but I can guarantee you, if you wrote 20 pages of your goals, it'll change 100 times.
At least.
So a lot of that, what you wrote and thought about, won't be used. It'll be
Very,
changed.
very possible. So, so what do you do? To claim that power to create whatever it is you want in your life, it only requires one step at a time. So if you have a vision of something that you want to improve upon, something you want to make better, something you want to make bigger for 2022, it only requires you to figure out what the first step is. Because there's two kinds of learning. There's knowledge based learning, like sitting in a classroom, like listening to this video. But there's something called activity learning, activity knowledge. And if you never take that first step towards a new and bigger and better vision, you will not learn the things you need to get you to the second step and the third step. You might already have some of that knowledge, but what if you've got knowledge gaps? The thing that I know for me, and I think you've experienced some of this too, is that just start where you are and realize that if you can imagine it, you do it. If you can imagine it, you can create it. And even if
Yep.
you don't know all the steps, start moving. Take the few that you do. I have seen way too many people, and I bet you've run across a few of them too, who they get into that beautiful state of analysis paralysis. They think they've got to have it all laid out before they take that first step. And, if you know what several of those steps are, God bless you. Go for it, get started. But don't think you've got to have all the answers before you start. That's unrealistic, and it will leave you frozen in that paralysis of analysis.
That's right. You will be stumped. You won't move forward.
And that's no fun.
You have to have activity. You
That's
have
it.
to move forward. Don't worry about trying to plan all out. Like I said, it will change on you. It has for me, it has for you, it has for everybody. So you can, if you want to take the time, write out a whole plan. But I can guarantee you it won't be the same when you get there.
That's it. That's it. Because there is no substitute for activity knowledge. There's no substitute because, even some of the most amazing skills in the world, you can, if you're an entrepreneur, you can go out and acquire skills in sales. You can acquire skills in marketing. But I'm here to tell you what works for you might not work for me.
That's right.
And what works for me might not work for him.
Definitely not.
Because, there's this idea that I truly have seen happen in my world. We need to get our heads and our hearts connected. For some of us, if those two things are not connected, then some of the sales and marketing techniques out here will not work for us. You've got to get into alignment with who you are at a very core level. So, there's lots of different skill sets out here you can acquire, but only way to find out which ones are going to work for you is to take whatever knowledge you've got, even if it's just baby steps. Baby steps count. And just start moving forward. Start using the knowledge that you've acquired. Because then you're either going to see it start to work for you or it's not. If it's not, don't beat yourself up. That's just plain ridiculous. That just means you need to adjust what you're doing. Corporate America taught me a methodology that you probably are pretty familiar with too. They always talked about create a plan, do the plan, check to see what the results are of the plan, and then adjust the plan accordingly. I mean, doesn't that just make sense?
It has to be that way.
It has
It
to be.
has to be that way.
It does. And so your plan can be one step. It does not have to be a full blown laid out plan. There is great power in forward movement. And the more that you do some forward movement and the more that you get feedback about, okay, this forward movement looks like it's working for me, or this forward movement's not working for me. Once you get that forward movement and you start continuing one step at a time, you can build momentum. And there is huge power in momentum.
Definitely.
So, that's one of the things we're hoping and praying that more people will move out of being caught up in a victim mindset. When things don't go well in business, sometimes we get caught in a victim mindset. Oh my God, things aren't working because of the pandemic. Oh my God, things aren't working because of this person's not doing what I want, or that person's not doing what I want. But how does it work when we try to control other people?
You cannot control others. All you can do is control your actions.
That's it. That's it.
Outside that, you have no control.
Mm-mm. So focus on what you have control of. Take one step at a time. Give yourself the opportunity to plan that step, do that step, check and see what the results of that step were, and then adjust your next step based on results. If you follow that simple format, you will find that you have the ability to claim great amounts of power to create change in your life, in your business, and even in our communities. I'm still a big believer, and you tell me what you think, but I'm still a big believer that small businesses are the last great hope for creating positive change in our communities.
Yes. Yes.
You have some experience on the other side of that, Nickel, don't you?
Both sides. And yes, small business power.
Small business power is where it's at because we have seen, oh my goodness, when he ran for governor in 2012, we saw how insane the system is. We saw that there were just too few things in the system that would allow real positive change to be created in our communities, in our states, in our country. Small business owners are the most incredible problem solvers on the planet. And when a group of us comes together, we can create some of the most powerful new solutions that anybody has ever seen. I know, I mean, you came up against that corrupted political mess that we've got out here, and it's not anything to contend with.
No, it's just very underhanded,
It is.
and
It is.
it's politics and it's dirty.
It's dirty. It is. And I do not believe at this point in time the system, and I'm not going to get into talking about individuals in the
Right.
system, but the system itself, it really doesn't want to see these problems solved because there's too many people in the system who are making a lot of money by seeing the problems in you.
And they help create more.
Create
They
more
don't solve
problems.
problems.
They don't solve problems. That's
No.
right. So, anyhow, think about that. You have the ability to claim your power. We have the ability to claim more of ours. And when we come together, we have the ability to be some of the most powerful problem solvers on the planet. And that's what we want you to think about for 2022. How do you claim more of your power one step at a time to be able to improve your life, your business, and ultimately our communities as well? Do you have any final thoughts on this today,
Well,
hon?
I think you need to throw in there that it will be good for your health.
Ooh, explain that.
Well, if you're feeling like you're down or a victim,
Yes.
oh no.
Yes. Yes. I just was having a conversation about that with somebody today. I said, oh my goodness, when we get to this place of feeling depressed,
Hmm.
frustrated, confused, angry, how often is action taking a solution to that? Just getting off the bleachers onto the playing field and just look for that one step forward that you can take. It's good for your mental health.
That's
And
right.
if it's good for your mental health, oh my goodness, I think I've heard a rumor in the medical community that stress is the number one cause of illness. So let's reduce stress by taking action one step at a time. That's where the power is. And that's how we change our lives, our businesses, and the world. That was a great final thought, hon. Anything else?
You really want to rock my brain, don't you?
I do because you have lots of wonderful nuggets that you
That's
don't
enough. We
share
don't
very
want to
often.
overload the people out there.
All right, good enough. Good enough. Well, again, we wish you all a happy, a joyful, a healthy, and a prosperous new year. And we will see you all again next week on Small Business Power. Have a fabulous week, everybody.
Bye.